Hello everybody, my name is Carnage Studios, and welcome to a walkthrough of all bosses in Pizza Tower. If you're stuck on any of the bosses, or just how to do bosses in general, well, here's a tutorial for you. There will be spoilers during this walkthrough because I'll be going through every single boss, including the later ones that aren't revealed until you go to them, so for spoilers for the fourth boss and the final boss. Anyways, here's the first boss, Pepperman. Now, Pepperman is pretty simple, but it is easy to lose to him if you aren't aware how to do bosses in general. So, rule of thumb for almost every boss is, unlike normal levels, you do not want to sprint at all. You want to wait for a boss to get done their attack and then press X on them, which is normally, or not, press the button they press normally to attack them, and then press X on them. Anyways, Pepperman, so it does a shoulder tackle for his first two attacks. So then you just want to jump over him and then press X on him when he's flashing like this. And then after your first two attacks are done, he'll do a tackle and then return to you, so you want to jump and then jump again. It's like this, and then press X on him like that. And then he'll try to send you for this turn, so then just go, so wait for him to get to like start going down, and then just attack him. For these next two attacks, he'll be bouncing around and you'll like flash for a little bit. The best thing to do is do the uppercut, which is up and then the attack move to get him. And then for this one, he'll do the same shoulder attack move, except you have to break that to make him look at it and get himself vulnerable. The thing to do is to like make him go to the other side, so you can chisel it as much as you can. So you don't have to worry about him charging at you while you're trying to break it. The second phase is pretty much the exact same thing, but there's a bit more stage hazards, and he's a little bit faster. So yeah, again, it's two, and then every attacking like twice is when the attacks change. There, and do this move. Yep. And then we'll try to bounce around. You can do the uppercut. And then we'll do this again. You can try to get him to the other side. And then he'll become small, just try to chase him down just constantly. Just like spam like X from like left to right, and it's a bit weird, but you can usually get him if you just do that. And yeah, that's Pepperman. Pretty simple boss when you get the hang of him. Pepperman's pretty simple, unlike this next boss, which is actually pretty tough, even compared to later bosses. The boss in question is the Vigilante, right here. The reason why he's so tough is because he just has so many attacks at once and he like never stops. And you also get introduced to a new mechanic, which is the handgun. This gun right here. So in order to use the handgun, you have to press the same button they use for this grab button. It's the same button for the grab button, and it shoots bullets out. Now there's two moves you can do with the gun, which is either spam shoot it or hold to shoot shots like that. The hold shot does more damage than the individual shot, but if you spam like shots like this, then it does more damage per second, or at least it seems like it. Anyway, let me restart the level to actually get through what his attacks are. So his first attack, he just does a couple shots at you, so jump over them and shoot when you can. And then charge at you with the boot, so jump over them, so get aware for that. And then if you do dynamite, the thing to know about dynamite is that it won't, like, hit you until it hits the ground. The best thing to do is either just go really far away or go really close to them. And then you also do this jump move and, like constantly do, like, shots, like, above, like that. The best thing to do about that is just stay far away from him while shooting him, and then find a time around, like, mid-air, like, while he's going down. And then that move's tough when the Grandpa's going after you, since you have to shoot the Grandpa so he doesn't attack you, while also avoiding the rocket and then him charging it with the boot. So it can be easy to get it hit there. Ow. And then after that, he'll get the flamethrower at you, it's going from left to right. Just jump over the flame. And then during the last hit, you want to spam shoot him until the next phase. Now he'll just constantly do, like, one attack. Like, here's the dynamite. So you want to go far away and then close to him. And then you constantly do the boot, so just jump over him. And then he'll do the constant shots, which is just jump in and shoot him when you can, so... that. And then dynamite again. And then a rocket launcher. Just jump into him like over here. And then here's the cow. He'll spawn a lot of cows at once, so be aware of them and try to kill them, like, when possible. And then the Grandpa will also just randomly show up. Cow again. Ow. Alright, now I think he'll spawn with the cow. Nope, he's just constant shots again. And then now go into a draw phase, which basically you'll say prepare to draw, and then in the sign of going on saying draw, and you just press the shoot button before he does it. Like so. Again, this one's tough because it's just constant attack after attack. But yeah. That's the Vigilante, which I think is, like, probably the toughest boss in this game. Which is weird since it's the second boss out of 5, but yeah. Anyways, the third boss, which can also be tough, but I don't think is as tough, is the Noise. So one thing to note about the Noise is his attacks are randomized, meaning, like, so Pepperman in Vigilante, like, when you get from one like, it's always in a pattern, like, he'll always do one attack after the other. The Noise is not like that. The Noise will, like, randomize what his attacks are in each phase. So, also, you can attack him while he's vulnerable like that if you're quick enough. Like, hold on. Like so. Alright. That's a skateboard. Which, the first time he'll do the skateboard, he'll just go from left to right. But if you, like, immediately attack him, then he'll, like, jump around. Here's the bombs. First of all, he does one bomb, and then he goes down. And then this one. Try not to go to any of the corners, since he can spawn bombs if you're in the corners. Sometimes. Alright, and then the second time he does this one, he'll spawn 2 bombs. So watch out for that. Alright, and then this next one, pretty much the same amount of speed, just he'll drop bombs if you're in the corner. Because during this attack, it's good to just do the parry, which is like taunt while he's attacking you. And yeah. Alright, now he's going to be pretty much harder versions of his previous attacks. Here. And then also be like that enemy right there, which you can use to like chuck at him, make him vulnerable for an earlier amount of time. Here. And so during this like balloon phase, you'll have a fake out, and then you'll normally do it. And that's when he's like on that blimp. And try to parry him right there, because it has like an explosion that can hit you if you're not like parrying him or far away enough from him. Right there. Alright, do the same thing. Again, don't try to go into a corner since you can spawn a bomb if you're in the corner. He'll do that or something, jump over it. Again, parry his attack when he does that flying move. And then here, whoops. Oh yeah, when he does the skateboard move, he'll push the skateboard back like that, and he can push you back so you don't attack him in a long enough time. So like, you do the jump, and then try to like jump when he's done with his face so you don't get pushed back. Not as hard as the Vigilante, but still can be kind of tough. And then the final like thing, you don't have to do anything, it's just a cutscene that plays out. Yeah. And then the next boss, which, alright, so from here in the next box, it will be spoiler warning, since they're not revealed yet. First three were revealed in the intro, these ones weren't, so spoiler warning for these next two bosses. But if you already know these bosses, then yeah, here's the fourth boss, Fake Peppino. This one's pretty simple, but it's also very weird if you don't know it. So, yeah. One thing about Fake Peppino is, like, while he's normally attacking you, you have to, like, attack him twice before he's actually vulnerable. You can take a life from him. So, one attack, and then he'll be vulnerable to take a life away from him. And then, almost all the time during this first phase, like he'll, like, when the first phase is trying to grab you, there'll be a bunch of clones of him trying to do him, and then... You can also just parry it. Something simple. Alright, after this attack, you can literally just stand there when these fake Peppinos jump around, and they won't, like, be able to attack you at all. So, yeah. And then go from around the stage like this, just jump over him when you can, and then attack him. You see that it's slower. Now, multiple will attack you. This looks a bit like anxiety-inducing, stress-inducing, but it's not as bad. You just go from left to right, and you should be fine. And then again, jump around like a frog. Kind of stay to the left or right, and then like go left when he's close to you, like so. And then over here, if you're not sure that you'll fully avoid them, then you can parry them, like so. And then he'll throw that ring at you. Attack him right after he throws the bane and try to jump over him. It'll be kind of annoying to time. Alright, now just jump from left to right. And then he'll do a taunt thing. Try to avoid these spikes on the ground, since it's easier to avoid them just while standing on the ground and not jumping. Same here, just try to do it on the ground, but then there'll be like a brain guy charging at you. Jump over them, but aside from that, just avoid the spikes on the ground. And then there'll be some like fake Peppino clones coming at you while he attacks you, so be aware for that. So like he charges at you, and then there'll be another one charging at you while the actual fake Peppino jumps at you. And then he'll go into the ball, and then there'll be other clones that'll try to like charge at you, like that. And then, yep. And then there we go. And this one's been kind of annoying. Duck under, like, the heads for this one. Alright, now for this one one's pretty easy. Again, avoid them on the ground. Beware for those guys. And then there we go. Now just run. Since there'll be a big Figfino chasing you, just run to the right. It's not that difficult. Literally just run to the right and then jump when you have to. It's not that difficult to do. He's not that quick. And that's Figfino. Pretty easy, but pretty weird, especially if you don't know him for, like, if you're playing it for the first time. Oh, by the way, for the bosses, S rank is when you have all 6 lives at the end. A P rank is if you beat the boss without getting hit. Like, as opposed to a normal P rank where you have to, like, get everything while keeping your combo. During bosses, getting a P rank is just beating them without getting hit. Anyways, yeah. Alright, so the final boss. So, spoilers for that boss too, but major spoilers for this final boss that comes up right here. Right here. Now, since I already beat this boss, this won't happen, but normally there's like a little cutscene from the shower. Nothing to know, just, yeah. And then you go to the gift here. And then Pizza Face. Now, each phase is pretty much extremely different from the other, but I'll tell you when. So... for this first phase, it's kind of like Bowser from Super Mario World. He'll spawn some enemies at you, and you throw it at him to get him vulnerable. And then he'll also cycle between spinning out the enemies and then charging at the ground. So he'll spin some enemies, and then he'll charge at you on the ground. But he'll spawn one enemy as well. So now he'll spit out some enemies, and then charge at the ground. And also attacking him will also charge through the other enemies. So then, yeah. Best thing to do is to, like, wait for him to charge at the ground and then go away from him so he's stuck in the ground for a bit so you can hit an enemy at him. And then later phases he'll spawn in more enemies and more difficult enemies, so be aware for that. Also, if you're concerned about how many enemies are on the screen, you can just pick up one enemy and then, like, go them and then, like, get them horizontally so all the enemies are cleared before even having too much enemies. Anyways, the next phase is Pizza Head. So this one you'll have a gun similar to the Vigilante. So yeah. Alright. Now during this Uzi phase, you can literally just stay there. Like, stay in a certain direction and the bullets won't hit you. And then nothing weird. A little bit weird. Now for this one, they go in completely random directions, the Fortnite that he spawns. The Fortnites won't hit you, but the Forks will. And it's completely random where the Fortnites will spawn when he picks them up like that. Also be aware, Pizza Face over there will occasionally spawn gears. So you just jump over them when you can. The best thing to do about that rat thing is just to parry him when you can. Like, when he's going at you, just parry it. So, parry. And, yeah, again, be router for the gears, and, yeah, base is pretty easy. And now for the third phase, which is pretty long phase. We have all the enemies at once, all the bosses at once, I'm sorry. And then, instead of just it being a normal boss rush, he'll beat the crap out of them, which takes away 4 hearts at once. So Pepperman, he do the shoulder attack drill again, then attack him. Next attack, he'll do the shoulder tackle and then return. And then he'll try to do the squash move. Attack him again, same thing that you did last time. And then do the squash move and bounce off the screen. So again, uppercut's probably the best way to do that. And then here, since you don't have a gun, you have to chuck Gustavo at him to make him vulnerable. Which, Gustavo, you pick him up by pressing the same button that you grab people. And kind of like his normal attack, he'll do 2 attacks at once and constantly do them until he's hit. Beat him out like that. And then the noise, you don't have to chuck Gustavo on him, but you can to make him, like, vulnerable for a quick amount of time. Like, just me make him vulnerable. Kind of like the noise enemy in his boss, so... I missed him. But, yeah, if you chuck Gustavo at him, he'll just make him vulnerable for a amount of time. Take Pepino, you gotta attack him twice, and then, yeah. And like so, it'll make Pepino vulnerable if you chuck Gustavo at him. So, and then for the second Pizza Head battle, so he'll jump over you for the first part, and then be aware, since this guy's vulnerable for way less amount of time, and then when he stops being vulnerable, he'll like do a jump to try to phase you out. So you try to like be next to him as much as possible, so you can just attack him like that. I don't know what it is. I think it's like 1 or 2 seconds for when he's vulnerable, which is like a really short amount of time. So yeah. It'll be even shorter the more he does it. Also be aware that he does multiple attacks at once. He'll do like 3 attacks at the final phase here. Jump over you, and do another attack, and then do another attack, and then I think 1 more attack? Yeah, and then... there we go. And that's it. And then the cutscene plays by itself, and it is awesome. Alright, and that's all the bosses. After this is just the final level, which I'm not going to spoil for now, but yeah, that's all the bosses. Thanks for watching, and hope this could help somewhat, maybe. So yeah, all the bosses. See you later.